Well, people have asked me that before, you know. I was walking up College Bray one day and somebody said to me, why would you want to live in a place like Braemar? And I just said, it was about this time of year as well, and I said, look around you. The heather's purple, there's people milling around, it's just home. Even my kids, I mean, they're all English, but they like to think of Braemar as home. And the thought of coming back to live in Braemar when I first came back, what was it, 15 years ago, I thought, really? And then about 10 minutes later, I said, yeah, let's go for it. It's home.
I know there is something about it that, I don't know, just pulls us back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it, Joss?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel as though I never left. I was born in the same house that I live in now in 1949, and growing up here in the 50s and 60s was, looking back on it, just an amazing time of freedom, happiness and poverty. What do you think?
It's interesting though, we three are sitting here and it's interesting, that bond of friendship over the years is so strong. And the people that you feel so comfortable with and just slot back in when you see them are the people that we grew up with from Braemar. So, I mean, maybe that's something to do with, what draws us back as well.
Yeah.
There's a real comfort in this village.
My kids used to come up here in the summer holidays for 6 weeks.
And where did you stay at that point?
I was in Englandshire. I was in Essex at the time, in Billericay. And they would disappear for 6 weeks with Pam. And they loved it up here. And although they're all English born, they still think of Braemar as home.
It's funny that because our kids are the same, aren't they? And they were brought up in Stonehaven, not that far away. But, they felt no real relationship to Stonehaven. It was all about Braemar. And this is home for them. It's something you can't quite put your finger on, but there is certainly some kind of magnetic thing going on about Braemar.
Yeah.
There was no vandalism.
No.
We were little angels.
Yeah.
But there was no vandalism or trouble.
There were pranks.
There were pranks.
Say. Yeah.
Oh, I
Pranks,
can
definitely.
remember.
No vandalism.
I can remember knocking on Joe Patterson's door and running away, and Ma Porter's door. But
there was a summer of that actually. Remember the lanes at Castleton? Do you remember this? And we tied the doorknobs across the lanes.
I was in that night.
Yeah. Now, I remember St Margaret's, Miss Sunter lived in the house there, and she was always a favourite doorbell to ring because she always called the Bobby. So we'd go and hide, and the Bobby would come across the village, and that was the excitement for the day.
I can remember coming out of school, going home, going into the pantry and getting a piece of buttered bread and dipping it in the sugar bowl.
Oh, yes.
And then we'd be out.
Yeah, that's right.
We'd be out until we were
Until
called
it-
in
yeah.
at the
It was
appointed
either
hour.
dark. Well, it got too dark to play outside, or we were told
I
to
know,
come home.
we were always told to be in by something like 7:30, and we could look out the window and still see kids playing out.
Yeah.
But it was sledging on College Bray in winter time. Dash home from school, get your sugary piece, and that's you out.
Bobsleighs,
Yeah.
two sledges together.
I remember
You were good
Douglas.
at- Doug was good on the bobsleighs.
You were the
Chief
champion driver in the bobsleigh.
That was good fun.
And remember, in the winter time, College Bray just used to be a sheet of ice.
Yeah.
After we'd been sledging on it for a while, with good hard frosts.
Really hard.
And
Good surface.
the great thing was the council never sanded
No.
College Bray. the residents just had to, go up the sides because Colley's Brae was for sledging.
I can remember the shoemaker. What was his name? Clark.
Willie Clark.
Oh, Willie Clark.
Willie Clark.
Yes.
He came walking down Colley's Brae and he fell on his backside,
Yeah.
and we all laughed.
Yeah. And then sometimes Chapel Brae was good for sledging as well,
But then they always sanded it
They tended to
eventually.
sand it, so
Yeah.
it was
But we used
just
to get
very occasional.
one
Yeah.
evening of a
Yeah.
good run
But
down
the
Castle.
good thing about College Brae back then, apart from the fact that it was a sheet of ice, all the kids in the village turned
Everybody
up.
was there,
Yeah.
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 Everybody was there and went all the way down to Sydney Cottage.
Yeah.
All the way down.
And if you got that far, you were a champion.
You were a champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had a good shove. You were a good pusher. Yeah.
And I used to take a run and jump,
Yeah.
and then
That's right. Or jump on the back. That's right.
good fun.
I suppose that's, it was the difference between Braemar in the 50s and 60s and now,
Yeah.
in that there was a huge population. Just every house had kids,
Yeah. That's
and
true.
the schools were full. There was the Catholic school, and then what we called the other school.
Our school.
And but the wonderful thing was, the kids in both schools, there was never any animosity or anything. It was, everybody got on.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Do you know what
you two went to the other school.
We went to
Yeah.
the other school.
We went to the real school.
But do you know what I remember about the sledge? The noise. Do you remember the noise
Yeah.
of the runners
Yeah.
on the ice? And it was such an evocative sound.
Yeah.
You can hear it and you can feel the cold,
Yeah.
can't you? Just that sound of the runners. It was brilliant, a brilliant noise.
Yeah.
And then playing rounders
In
where
the
the,
park.
where the health centre is now, in front
Oh,
of the front
that's
of the garage.
true. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we used to make a bat out of an old plank
Yeah.
Yeah.
with enough for a handle, and all the kids in the village came, because I can remember even Tommy Peggy,
Yes.
Yeah.
because there were boundaries on where the ball could go.
Yeah.
You couldn't go too far left and too far right. It had to be up by the dairy.
Yeah.
And I can remember one particular shot, and I'll never forget it. Tommy Peggy was playing with us, and he was facing away from whoever was batting at the
Right.
time, and we just shouted, "Hey, Tom!" And he turned around, stuck his hand up, and caught the ball.
Yeah.
He didn't even have time to see it.
Yeah.
And people like Angus MacDonald and Derek Littlejohn,
Oh, yes.
and people like that.
Yeah.
And one thing I remember about the dairy, we always had a bottle of cola and ice cream
From Elsie.
from Elsie. Yeah, I mean, I can remember Brian, because he bought a bottle of cola, and we all, me and Angus MacDonald and Brian and James, in a little sort of circle there, and Brian would give us a capful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all you got.
Yeah. I remember the Rounders games, and the big guys like you were able to hit the ball in over the chapel grounds, over the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then because there was only one ball, it had to be retrieved. And if Rusty Cannoncare's dog was around, that was a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that
Yeah.
dog. Rusty.
Rusty was, yeah.
I used to hate that dog, because I was a Mrs. boy for Johnny Stammers.
Yeah.
And the one house I hated going into was the chapel, because that dog would chase you and go for your.
What kind of dog was that?
Yeah.
It was a red and white thing, wasn't it?
It was, aye.
With a long nose on it.
Yeah.
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 Another thing I remember was your mother's ice cream van
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
outside the Games Park.
It was very
Yeah.
popular.
I can't think why. Because we'd be up in the swings in the Games Park,
Get an ice cream.
Yeah.
and then we'd finish jumping off the swings, and then go and see Marion for an ice cream,
Yeah.
if we had any money.
Yeah.
Just occasionally she would give you one for nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I remember. The portions were very, very generous.
Yeah. Another thing I remember about childhood is we had a gird, which was a bicycle wheel without the tyre, and a piece of kindling in your hand, and we would push this thing for miles.
Down the Dairy Brae, I remember you.
Yeah.
Down
Yeah.
the Dairy Brae with them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like a mobile in today's days. You don't go out without it.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have this wheel, we wouldn't go. But we ran everywhere. Talk about being fit, my goodness.
I know.
Nowadays they're on electric scooters and things like that.
And
but-
mobile phones.
And mobile phones.
Yeah.
Happy days, happy days.
They were happy days, and I remember, you know, we always used to have to work.
Yeah.
Even at primary school,
Yeah.
I was paper boy for Alistair and Agnes Grant,
Oh, yeah.
and I had to do the paper round in the morning before I went to school, and that was sometimes after being an altar boy at early morning mass, and then paper round in the afternoon as well, and then I remember from talking about dogs. You remember Fluke, the corgi, Mrs. Skelly's
Oh,
at Comley Bank. That was the place I hated delivering the Sunday papers, because you had to watch, and if the door was open, you wondered if Fluke was waiting at the door to come and have a go at your ankles.
So did a lot of folk get their papers delivered?
Yeah, there's a big paper round, especially on Sundays. You know, it had to go twice to fill the paper bag.
Because you couldn't carry a double bag.
You couldn't carry a double
You're
bag.
too
I remember Mrs. Kelly, because we used to go up and get a paper for her.
Right.
This was on a Sunday. It was always one of us, and she always gave us a bag of sweeties, and we had to take this bag of sweeties home, and
Sure.
we'd have all the kids round, and one for you,
No.
two for me.
But that was how we ate sweeties in these days, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
wasn't handfuls. It was you just got one,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
you?
And the pay for doing the papers included a bag of Smith's crisps with the
With the
little,
salt.
the little bag of salt.
Yeah. The twisty bag.
Yeah. So I used to get that in the mornings for my play piece at primary school. Yeah.
Well, you were rich then.
Yeah. No, I didn't have to pay. Yeah, it was barter for
Okay.
for delivering the papers.
And you mentioned Alistair Grant. What I remember of him was getting a haircut,
Oh yeah.
and he used about a gallon of Brill cream on your hair.
Gosh,
Yeah.
used to give you terrible. My mother once sent me to get my hair cut there.
Really?
Oh, I was so upset.
But towards the latter part of his hair cutting life, he was a bit shaky in the hand,
Yeah, yeah.
and he had a stepped haircut at the back.
Well, I remember watching him shave old Tosh, Alec McIntosh,
Oh, yeah.
and sometimes Joe Grant, my grandfather, and with the shaky hand, and you know, with the open blade,
Yeah.
and but they both lived to be old, yeah, died in old age,
And I mean that because there was the barber shop, the newsagent,
yeah.
and then the miscellany of toys and things, china and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff they
It was a
had.
bit like Johnny Stammer's shop,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
because they had Isabel, was it?
Oh, Isabel,
Yeah, the
yes.
drapery.
She was at the posh end.
At the posh
Yes,
end, yeah.
and I worked for Isabel, and we used to keep in the summer. When you think back, the summer clothes that was put in boxes, so summer tops were in boxes, and they were put above the door, you know, in Henry's, the central door. So if anyone came in looking for a top, you had to get the ladder, climb up, take the
I
box
remember that.
down, and then of course you laid out your selection on the counter, and the customer chose. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, so far away from where we are now, isn't it? It's just hard to believe that
Yeah.
that was what retail looked like all these years ago.
But as a message boy, we always got a tea break.
Oh, did you?
And he had a bank of biscuit tins, and you were allowed 2. Just occasionally sneak an extra one if he wasn't looking.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Gosh,
remember,
gosh, Douglas, that's not
I
good.
remember when you were message boy at Henry's, and one of my other jobs was stacking shelves, and in the summertime it was cartons of, remember the rock.
Edinburgh Rock,
Edinburgh
Braemar
Rock,
Rock,
in the tubes
Yes.
that had
Yeah.
Braemar
Yeah.
stamped on it,
Yeah.
and there were coach loads of people,
Yeah.
and they used to come in and buy
Braemar Rock.
Braemar Rock,
Aye.
or the little packets of soft rock, and it was a constant job all summer because so many
Restocking.
coach parties coming in from all over, and their souvenir of Braemar was a stick of rock.
Aye.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
Yeah, but back in the day we had food shops. Like we had Collies,
that's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Strackens,
Yeah.
yes,
Johnny and Johnny Stammers,
and Johnny Stammers.
and everybody was a Mrs. Boy or Mrs. Girl.
And loose food. It was put in a bag and weighed, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not pre-packed stuff now that we've got nowadays.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even Jimmy Gordon, he was a baker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all, at one stage, probably delivered the butteries in the morning before you went to school.
We ate them, Douglas, certainly.
I did.
We used to get.
I wasn't going to say
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Before we got the school bus.
Before we got the school
we
bus,
used to
got
get butteries
out the back window.
Out the back window. Yeah.
Yeah. How fortunate we were when you think of it, eh?
Yeah, we were really lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about souvenirs, remember when after Bill Pickford took over Colley's shop, they used to sell Doc and Doris's, which was the
That's right, in the-
whiskey in the small jars,
Earthenware
jars, and they were really popular.
Really
yeah.
popular, weren't they?
And sometimes George, my friend, would manage to sneak
George
one,
Pickford,
and we would share a Doc and Doris.
And then we had Esselman, the butcher.
Esky.
Esky.
That's right, Jimmy Esselman. Yeah,
Oh, oh, oh.
I remember him and Fran McDougall. She had a very high-pitched laugh as well, and going into the butchers and just listening to them laughing.
Laughter.
I remember Fran McDougall because in our street in St Andrews Terrace
Yeah.
there was only one house with a TV, and that was the McDougalls. And what they used to do if Francis and Ian, Francis and the mother were going out, the three Anderson boys would be invited round to watch TV. So we could sort of look after each other. But it was one of these TVs with a flickering
Yeah.
picture. And before Francis went up, she would give it a good clout to make sure it was working.
Yeah.
Because at that point, the signal was relayed from George Bruce's aerial in the top of Creekcoinich.
Yeah.
And but the Kennys
Yeah.
next door to you, they had a TV before George put up the aerial,
Right.
and I mean you could hardly see it at all. We used to go there to watch Cracker Jack on a Sunday,
yeah.
on a Saturday, but it was all snow.
Yeah. Well, if it snowed on Creekcoinich, it snowed on your TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't need the weather forecast. Just look at the TV.
My granny and granda Grant, were at Havelock. They had one of the few working TVs, before the cable TVs.
Yeah.
And after primary school, we used to cycle across there to watch Laramie, Champion, the Wonder Horse. Yeah, Cracker Jack as
Cracker
well.
Jack,
It was great. Yeah.
I remember going for a duke, as we called it.
Uh-huh.
Down by, there was a big pot down where behind the garage. It's
Yeah.
not there now. But all the kids would go down there with their
That's right. the swimming.
woolly swimming trunks. I can remember.
Because that was a great spot because there's well obviously there still must be there, but there was a shelf it was the shelves of stone, wasn't
Yes,
it?
that's right.
Went down,
Yeah.
so you could go that level and then further down, and then it was quite deep enough to dive.
Yeah.
Because there was a not that I ever dived, but there was a diving board up on one
On
of
the
the
tree,
trees,
yeah.
and Bertie Leach was the big mad diver into, because you're not really sure how deep it was.
Bertie, I mean, he was a blue baby anyway, but he was just a mad.
He was mad.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember watching him. You know, we were never allowed to swim in the Fife Pot.
Oh, no.
But Bertie, you know, he was, and you know, he would
He
dive
did.
off the top of the
He
rocks
did.
into the pool there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Great-
weren't allowed
great
to
character. Yeah.
allowed to swim in the River Dee either.
No, that's
Only
right.
could
Yeah.
swim in the Cluny and not in the Fife Pot.
Yeah,
That was
that's right, yeah.
absolutely a no-no.
Mhm.
But folk like Bertie did.
Yeah, yeah. No fear.
No fear.
No fear.
Yeah.
I can remember one day playing on the rocks in front of what is now Pete Mulvey's house and sliding down on my backside, and I invented swear words. But it was great fun.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think we were really fortunate growing up
Yeah.
in a village where it was so safe.
Yeah.
Everybody knew each other,
Mhm.
and you know the adults were looking out for us, even although they weren't paying a lot of attention to us.
Mm.
So you know, if you were up to anything, you knew fine that your parents would be told by
Mhm.
whoever saw you what you'd been up to, if it was something you shouldn't be doing. So that was a bit of a
Yeah. Remember, one of my memories of Burnside was at the end of May, we always decamped into the wee house because summer, the big house was for bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
And it was always an adventure, you know, going into the wee house for the summer. And at that time, probably about half the houses in Braemar
well, they had
did-
a
they did bed and breakfast.
or let the house out for the month.
Or let, yeah.
Yeah,
mhm,
because
yeah.
that was the two things that were going
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
The
yeah.
visitors used to
Yeah.
come and stay for a month, or then that was sort of really 40s into 50s, and then the
Mhm.
60s the bed and breakfast businesses started
Mhm,
because it was
yeah.
a bit more lucrative, more work, mind you.
Yeah, and it was important income
Yeah.
for most of the
Yeah.
people in the village, because you know that supplemented the basic wages
Which
that
were low.
they could get in the hotels or
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah.
The Fife was in its heyday back
Yeah.
in those days,
Mhm, yeah.
where they had the public bar.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Gosh, do you remember Peter Ellis in the public bar? Do you remember that? And he came. He was in charge of the horse for Invercold Estate,
All right.
and he used to come down and tie the horse up outside the pub, and then get absolutely bloomin' blutered, and watch him sort of waving his way. I don't know where they kept the horse. Somewhere.
I
don't
know where he stayed because he used to walk past our house.
Yes.
Sort of
Wavy lines.
Wavy
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah. That's right. The Ellises were at number 11 St
11.
Andrew's Terrace. The
Yeah.
Geddeses at 12.
Yeah.
The Davidsons at 10.
10.
The Andersons at 9.
No, we were 8.
8.
Kenny's.
Oh, the
Kenny's were
the
9.
Kennys were
Kenny's were
9.
9,
Andersons
that's
8. McLaren's would have
7.
been 7.
Yeah.
McDougall's at 6.
6.
The Lennons,
Lennon's 5.
5. The McGrory's
The
4.
McDonald's 3.
The McDonald's
McDonald's, yeah.
3. The Little John's number 2.
2.
Yeah.
And,
And
Lena.
Henry and Lena's
Lizzie.
Lizzie Stewart at
1.
number 1.
That's right.
There we go.
I don't know who lives in the
how
terrace
how
now.
many kids would have been
And the terrace.
in the terrace at that time?
Well, I was born on number 1,
You were born
Were
in number
you?
1,
Yeah.
were you?
Yeah.
Right.
and then we decamped from there to
To
8.
number 8.
number 8.
But prior to getting into the first 4 houses were there. Then they built
So we're building at that
built
point.
the other
yes.
ones. And I'm told that one of the Anderson boys, before they were occupied, actually went round to number 8 and broke a couple of windows. They all blamed it on me, but
Yeah.
I was
You
an
were
angel.
innocent.
I was busy that day.
Yeah. Mhm.